Pa ystyriaeth mae'r gweinidog wedi rhoi i ariannu y grant cymorth tai wrth ddyrannu cyllideb Llywodraeth Cymru?
Maintaining funding of £127 million in the Housing Support Grant, alongside our continued investment of £18 million for tackling homelessness and other funding streams, highlights the importance we attach to providing services to the homeless, vulnerably housed, and people who need support to stay out of institutional settings.
Mae'n apel i'n syml iawn. Peidiwch â gwneud unrhyw beth yn eich cyllideb sy'n bygwth gwariant ar daclo digartrefedd. Mae'n rhaid i chi gynnal a chynyddu grantiau tai a chefnogi pobl ag ati oherwydd y tu ôl i'r ystadegau digartrefedd. Mae yna bobl go iawn. Efo calon drom, mi soniau am un ohonyn nhw. Mi nath y crwner yr wythnos yma gadarnhau mae Paul Daniel Hughes oedd y dyn gafodd ei ganfod yn farw mewn hen adeilad gwag yn Llangefni fis diwetha. My team was truly saddened to hear of Paul's passing. He'd been a regular visitor to my office, a local man, homeless. He lived in a tent on the banks of Afon Cefni for a period. My team tried to help him and were frustrated time and time again. He was made homeless originally because of the death of his mother, or after the death of his mother. He'd been in a hostel for one time, but was told to leave for apparently stealing a sandwich. He was desperate for assistance and found he just couldn't get the support he needed. Do you agree that it's people like Paul who have suffered and in many cases lost their lives because of spending cuts, and that it's people like Paul, or because of people like Paul, that we must invest properly in eradicating homelessness, and nothing but an increase in funding available for this is acceptable?
Well, I'm obviously very sorry to hear about your constituent, Paul, and you're absolutely right that Paul's situation and those of many people like Paul is very much a result of the situation we find ourselves in, the difficulty in getting employment, and actually bereavement is one of the most prevalent reasons that I've heard from people who I've spoken to who have been street homeless, and that's been that was quite an eye-opener, because it's not one of those things which people often recognise, and I think that there's some more work for us to be doing there in terms of bereavement support. Listen, as I said to Jack Sargent, I've heard clearly the messages from colleagues and from committee and from others, and we had the opportunity to discuss this exact issue with local government this morning. And as I say, if there is additional funding coming forth, and if there is an opportunity at the final budget, I will indicate where those priority areas would be.